Good morning. How's everybody today? Hope you're doing well. I went and got my ears lowered, got a haircut. One of the things I'm very interested in is geography. I don't know why. I love maps. Used to collect maps, hills, looking at maps, reading the contours, grid references, altitude, anything to do with a map, fascinating. I guess that's from the green clothes days. And relating a map to the ground or ground to the map, fascinating. So I look at this area a lot, and Ayutthaya is fascinating because of the history behind it. I'm not really a history guy, but I'll look at history a little bit so I can understand the geography more. But if you look at Ayutthaya, it's actually an island. It's got a couple of rivers go to it, and then they flow around it and then go off to Bangkok. They come from the north. And one of them passes, there's a river behind me. It's part of that system, but it's not actually going to Bangkok. If you go back up that way to the right here, a couple of kilometers, it'll join into the river, and that goes around and goes way over there, goes towards Bangkok. This will go there eventually, but it goes windy through everywhere. But the main river is over behind the village, or on this side of the village. So, and it goes all the way to Bangkok. And Bangkok, so Ayutthaya used to be, this area was called Siam, which was the original capital of Thailand. And now Bangkok is. So Bangkok, or in English you say Bangkok, in Thai you say Kuntib. So, just to give you an idea, the King and I period, remember the film King and I? That period was when the king was already in Bangkok. So, and I'm told about 600 years ago, the capital moved from Ayutthaya to Bangkok, while they were still warring with Burma and so on. So, but once a year they have a big festival in Ayutthaya, and they reenact those battles with the elephants and so on. But there's a lot of really, really old temples, and I like to go to Like Restaurant because the food is good, the people are friendly, and it's not expensive, it's healthy. And right outside the door, literally like a couple, their properties right next to a temple. And so I was sitting there looking at it yesterday, and I was thinking, how many temples in this area? So I went up in the drone to have a look. Have a look at this. I hope you enjoyed that. While I was sitting there doing that, looking around up in the air, a dog came up to me, never seen him before in my life, just wandered right up to me, just like super excited to see me. And at first I was a little bit startled because I didn't know the dog. But he was just wagging his tail, licking, and wanted some affection. So I petted him, I was sitting there talking to him, and he just hung out. And he wanted to get closer and closer and closer. So I told him to get back a little bit because I was busy. Then after, while I was finished, I went to see him. He had fell asleep. And I went over to say goodbye to him, and he lifted his head up, looked at me like with one eye, you know how dogs do, put his head back down, but just then the wind blew past him, and he jumped straight in the air, just flew in the air, bouncing on his back legs, smelling, and he froze and looked, and then I looked across this little creek, and there was about 1.5 meter monitor lizard, and he went flying after that monitor lizard, and the monitor lizard ran. And so I thought, okay, he's gone. So I just carried on walking back to my truck. And then the next thing I know, he come jumping at me saying, hey. And so I had to stroke him and fuss with him and talk to him some more. And I thought, okay, we're finished now. I walked off, came back. Anyway, have a look at this. I just come over to this field, minding my business, sitting there playing with the drone, flying. And next thing, this guy comes walking up to me from nowhere. I didn't even see him approach. I just seen him when he was looking at me. And he just pushed himself up and wanted to be cuddled, like squashing himself against my body. Never seen him in my life before. See you later then. Gotta go now. Gotta take some medicine for Mr. G. See you. Pretty cool, huh? New friend. I was looking around to see if anybody's selling any food so I could go get him something to eat, but I didn't see anybody. So I might have to get him something and go back and see if I can find him. I know where he hangs out, so if I buy him something, if he's not there, I'll leave it, because that's, normally dogs are territorial, so he'll be in that area. Okay guys, I'm gonna sign off. It's actually around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But I'm going to go over there and start planting some, I have a few things I want to plant, so I'm going to get dirty. Do some gardening. I haven't done any for a while because it kept being too hot, but the sun's not come out, so I'm going to get over there and do it while the sun's in. So I'm going to sign off and say good night or good afternoon. So look after yourselves. Best wishes, guys. Buckets of blessings, rivers of peace, joy, and kindness. I hope you have a lovely evening and somebody calls you and says how wonderful you are. Good night, guys. See you in the morning.